कमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितश्च नमामि विष्णुपादाय विष्णुपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुष्याय हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विजयमानसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे So we will you have any questions in the seventh chapter you want to ask before we begin the eighth? You can ask any question, anything clarification you seek. All are welcome. Okay. So why only today 13 have joined? Others have forgotten the word.
Guruji, somewhere Radheshan Pro has come, so some devotees are.
Some devotees are? I could not hear. Huh?
Prabhuji, in MIT voice, Radheshan Prabhu has came, so some devotees are there.
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay, so we will begin then if you all don't have any question. So Krishna, actually, if you remember in 7.29, the last two verses of the chapter, the last chapter 7.29 and 7.30, Krishna speaks various terms which he is going to now ask. So in the first two shlokas, he is going to ask the questions, and then Krishna will answer those questions throughout this chapter. So the overview of this chapter is you can say the first and second is a question by Krishna, by Arjuna to Krishna. Third and fourth, the seven questions will be asked by Arjuna in these first two verses. And then, the three and fourth, in the third and fourth verse will be the answer of Krishna to Arjuna for the first six questions. And the last seventh question is the whole chapter from verse number 5 to verse number 28, I assume, is about answer to the last question. So surely the last question is very important. So that's why Krishna has kept like that. So in the Gita Subodhini, if you all actually refer to it, actually this is how it is. It is very very clearly tell about it that how the fifth to eighth actually Krishna says how remembering him at the time of death what happens. Then he says, but that remembrance can be of various types of Krishna. Some may remember, by their yoga Mishra Bhakti, then what happens? See, this is very, generally we feel, oh, Bhagwan, उसने तो भगवान का नाम लेते मरा. लेकिन भगवान यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं मरा मेरा नाम लेते हैं लेकिन क्या भक्ति किया पूरे जीवन में उस पर डिपेंड करता है. So remembering Krishna through Yoga Mishra Bhakti 9 to 13 Shloka will talk about. 14 to 16th verse will talk about how if somebody remembers Krishna through pure bhakti, then what happens to him? What is his gati? And 17 to 22, actually, the verse talks about how Krishna is actually talking about giving an impetus to all the jivas through Arjuna to attain the spiritual world while giving comparison with the material world. How filthy is material world, how superior is the spiritual world. So he gives that, that impetus for the people to actually remember him through Kevala Bhakti. And the last section, 22 to 28, supremacy of pure bhakti in attaining Krishna has been said. So we'll go through the chapter in that way. So as I told you right now that Krishna is has used several terms in the last two verses of seventh chapter, 7.29 and 7.30. So Arjuna being an attentive audience, student, he is asking questions, sir, what are these terms that you are using? So now when you will be hearing those terms, as we'll read the verses, you will say, ये इसमें क्या बड़ा बात है? These words though have come very often. And how Arjuna is asking right now these questions. Probably he was sleeping before, or or did he understood anything before? Because these were all very often used terms in the entire Bhagavad Gita, the first seven chapters at least. अभी पूछ रहे हैं. So, but there's a reason why he is asking. He is asking these terms, you will hear it, right? He's asking, terms like Brahman, what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, what is Karma, what is Adi Bhutam, Adi Daivam. These things he's asking. Uh, he's, so a question may come to you all the why to ask such questions, Baba? It's a repetitive question or what has happened to him. It's not a bit repetitive question for Arjuna because he's asking these terms, from Krishna to actually brief to give a definition and understanding of it in terms of the last two slokas of the seventh chapter, 7.29 and 7.30, where Krishna actually, if you remember, introduces the fourth type of Sakam Bhaktas, apart from Artha-Artharthi Jigyasu, then is a person who is actually looking for liberation from the cycle of birth and death. He is not so much interested in giving pleasure to the Lord. That is why he is a Sakam Bhakta only. His kamna is to go out of the cycle of birth and death, not to go to the spiritual world and serve the Lord. So, in saying, like, in answering, in stating about that, the fourth category of Sakam Bhakta, the Krishna has used various terms. And in regard to those, terms, in regard to those verses, he is asking, what do you mean by these terms when you are speaking? So we'll get into it. It will be a bit technical initially, but it's important. Yes, bro. Arjuna uvacha kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottamah adibhutam cha kim proktam adidaivam kim uchyate. So please read. Okay, see what is the word to word meaning so that you will be very clear. So Krishna says over here, no, sorry, Arjuna said, Arjuna Vacha, uh, Kim Tat Brahman. Hey, what is this Brahman, my dear? Please tell me. Kim Adhyatmam. What is the self? Kim Karma, the fruitive activities. O Purushottama, please tell about also Adi Bhutam, the material manifestation, and also tell Adi Daivam, the demigods. So he's asking these, how many questions he has asked over here? Brahman, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Kim Adi Bhutam, and Kim Adidaiva. Five questions he has asked. You know? So, uh, yes. So now read the translation.
Translation. Arjun inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Actually, I'm
Purport.
just asking, is there a background sound coming while I'm speaking also, or you're fine? No
Fine,
background
Guruji.
sound. Huh?
Fine,
Fine.
Guruji, no.
Oh, okay, okay. So now you understood these five, no? Five questions have been asked. Please now read the purport.
Purport. In this chapter, Lord Krishna answers different questions from Arjun, beginning with what is Brahman. The Lord also explains karma, fruity activities, devotional service, and yoga principles, and devotional service in its pure form. The Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the supreme absolute truth is known as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In addition, the living entity, the individual soul, is also called Brahman. Arjun also inquires about Atma, which refers to the body, soul, and mind. According to the Vedic dictionary, Atma refers to the mind, soul, body, and senses also. Arjun has addressed the Supreme Lord as Purushottam, Supreme Person, which means that he was putting these questions not simply to a friend but to the Supreme Person, knowing him to be the supreme authority able to give definite answers. Definitive answers.
Yeah. So Prabhupada over here is actually saying that, he's asking these questions, Kim Brahma, Kim Atman, what is this, my dear Lord? Because these words are used in different places for different things. Like Prabhupada is writing, no, Arjuna was saying about Atma, because Atma, sometimes body is called as Atma. The soul itself is called Atma. The mind is also called as Atma. In terms of the context, Prabhupada is right. Atma refers to the mind, soul, body, and senses also. So he wants to be clear by what words here you have said 7.29 and 7.30. You use these words. You are using these words for what? Which one? Body, soul, mind. Which one? You know, what kind of karma? थर्ड चैप्टर में कुछ कर्म बोला था, फिफ्थ चैप्टर में कुछ कर्म बोला था. अरे विच कर्म यू आर सेइंग, है ना? So he's expressing it because he wants to know it very nicely. And Prabhupada writes that he is saying, "Oh Purushottama" to Krishna. Now he is no more saying no as he's no more treating him to be as his friend. He's treating him to as a person, supreme personality of God, and wants to know the answer from him. So, so in this regard to, so Arjuna is asking now over here. Actually, Baldev Vidyabhushan, our Acharya, actually he says about this question, which Arjuna is asking. So he actually because in a 7.29 purport, I show you 7.29 purport. It's very important. And wait, where it is. Let me show you some. Yeah, see 7.29, 7.30. Yeah. Robert writes, Janma Mara Mokshaya. See, this is the verse. I don't know whether I remember or not. Uh, I have told in the last day that while in the eighth chapter will elaborate this verses. Jara Marana Mokshaya, right? Na? Mam Ashrita, Mam Ashrita Yatantihi. So, so he is actually is asking that Krishna is saying that, see, जन्म और मरण से मोक्ष मिल जाता है उसको, वो उसको चाहिए होता है. हाउ? क्योंकि वो मेरे पे आश्रित है. मम आश्रित यतन्ति ही, यतन्ति, ही इज ते ते ब्रह्म तद्विदु कृष्णम, अरे अध्यात्मम कर्म च अखिलम. So they actually are Brahman. These personality who know themselves as Atma are called as Brahman. because they entirely know everything, know karma, they know an adhyatma and a transcendental activities. So Prabhupada writes over here about what is Prabhupada writes over here. See. Yes. Uh, Prabhupada says over here that aham brahmasmi. See, यहाँ से Prabhupada says aham brahmasmi, right? No? I am spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, the spirit soul. This Brahman conception of life is also in devotional service as described in this verse. The pure devotees are transcendently situated on a Brahman platform and they know everything about transcendental activities. They are Brahman. You know, one should understand. They understand Brahman and they are Brahman. You know, no means what? It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit soul, and spirit soul is also called as Brahman. No, so the Brahman conception of life is also in devotional service, not like the impersonalist. And they know the transcendental activities and they're situated on the Brahman platform. So now that is why over here, that is why over here now these questions have been asked, by Arjuna, and Krishna is saying now the answers to it. So, this Brahman conception actually is also now is said that one only a person who performs activities mam ashritya are actually entitled to be called as Brahman because they're actually endeavoring to reach my planet. So such a person has no misgiving about Krishna and they're factually called Brahman. That's what Prabhupada said in the purport over there in 7.29. So Baldev Vidyabhushan actually analyzes Arjuna's question as follows. So what is Brahman? He has already said. Now, what is Brahman? Now, what is the self when he says, uh, what is the self? And so he says the self, what is Adhyatma? Adhyatma is the self that pertains to the gross or the subtle body. So he's asking about then what is about the gross or the subtle body. What is karma? He is asking what is karma? Ask if karma does the karma refers to the fruitive activity or spiritual activity, and why, if they're equivalent, he should fight, right? Na? No, so he wants to know which activity are you saying, and if they're same, then why I should fight? Then he's saying, what is Adi Bhuta? Actually, Arjuna is asking, what gross and physical things are you referring to? You know, what kind of like items such as the parts or the bodies of the living beings. What are you asking? What are you telling about what Adi Bhut? What is this Adi Bhut? What is this gross physical things? And Adi Daiv, he's asking that is the Adi Dev you are saying the governor of the demigods, or is a demigod, or a Virat Purusha? Who is that? So he is asking, in that regard, don't understand that he is asking, he's asking in a way that he doesn't knows these terms in a general. He knows these terms very well, but he is specifically asking in terms of the previous verse, and he is a bit confused because Krishna has spoken many things before to it. So he is clarifying, Baba, batao, because I have to conclude some certain things. So better you tell me what is about these, what all these words are referred to. So that's what has been said. So something also over here has been said about the word Adi. See, the Adi, as soon as is used, will Prabhupada will also explain ahead. The Adi means over and above. Uh, the Adi Bhuta, Adi Karma, Adi Yajna, all this will come. So over and above who now he's asking also. So he's basically is asking these questions. We'll go to the next question, which he is now going to ask to Krishna. So these are his questions, and मुझे क्वेश्चन इतना टफ क्यों दिख रहा है? He says now next. आदियज्ञ कथम कोऽत्र देह देहोऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रायण काले च कथम गेयो गेयो असि नित्य आत्मभि पढ़िए.
Translation: Who is the Lord of sacrifice, and how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?
So you refer to this, okay. Adi Yagya, who is the Lord of the sacrifice? Are you talking about ये the Mahat Virat Roop demigods? Who is that? You know? Then he is saying Koatra Madhusudana Prayana. And the next, the seventh question is most important. Prayana Kale cha katham geyo si asi nitya atma. अरे at the time of death प्राय ना जब प्राण निकल जाता है टाइम ऑफ डेथ कथम नो how to know who goes where, and especially those who are self-controlled people. No, Madhusudana, so after giving their body, where after the death they go, what is their destination? Now you can, because you are only known to the self-controlled people. What happens to all kind of these personalities, you please let me know. So this is the seventh question which is asking, and Krishna is going to focus on the seventh question throughout the chapter. First sixth question he'll answer in one shloka itself. So now read the purport proper is right.
Lord of sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu. Vishnu is the chief of the primal demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, and Indra is the chief of the administrative demigods. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by yajna performances. But here Arjuna asks who is actually the Lord of Yajna, sacrifice, and how the Lord is residing within the body of living entity. Arjuna addresses the Lord as Madhusudana because Krishna once killed a demon named Madhu. Actually, these questions, which are the nature of doubts, should not have arisen in the mind of Arjuna because Arjuna is the Krishna conscious Jew. Therefore, these doubts are like demons. Since Krishna is so expert in killing demons, Arjuna here addresses him as Madhusudan, so that Krishna might kill the demonic doubts that arise in Arjuna's mind. Now, the word Prayan Kale in this verse is very
Prayana
significant.
Kale.
Prayana Kale in this verse is very significant because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna is very anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. What should be their position at that final moment? At the time of death, all the bodily functions are disrupted and the mind is not in proper condition. Thus,
Uh,
disrupted by the body.
yeah, yeah. So no, over here, no, Prabhupada quotes the Mukundamala Stotra, the 33rd verse of the Mukundamala Stotra, a very famous shloka, and he quotes over there. I'll show you. That's a very good shloka, which is to be you can recite. Hmm. Because that last question has a lot of weightage. This Krishna himself has given, and why so it is, see it. So here, actually, I will show you before we continue. Uh, oh, not this verse. Mughal Sutra is very famous one. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam Adev Me Vishato Manasarajanam Saha Prana Prayana Samaye Kaphavata Pittaye Kantavarodhana Vidho Smarano Kutaste. So he's saying, read the. So over here he's saying actually, Mukund, King Kulshekar says, Peace be, O Lord Krishna.
O Lord Krishna, at this moment let the royal swan of my mind enter the tangled stem of the lotus of your feet. How will it be possible for me to remember you at the time of death, when my throat will be choked up with mucus, bile, and air?
So actually, over here he is saying that, my dear Lord, right now my consciousness is very proper, is mati, is fixed. Better let me go right now, because later on God knows, at the time of when the time of death comes, when the old age, it is very difficult. The body is full of mucus, bile, and all those guru guru sound comes. Remembrance will be very tough. Better let me leave right now. Uh, then he says, but I have to.
But if I have to wait for my natural death, then I do not know what will happen because at that time the bodily functions will be disrupted. My throat will be choked up, and I do not know whether I shall be able to chant your name. Better let me die immediately. Arjuna questions how a person can fix his mind on Krishna's lotus feet at such a time.
So that's why, he's asking, oh my dear Lord, you are saying me to fight, okay. Uh, and if suppose the death comes in a way we don't know, how somebody can fix the mind on your lotus feet, it is very difficult. That's why Prabhupada is quoting this Mukundwala Stotra and making us understand that now because Prabhupada is writing the quality of the consciousness that we have maintained throughout the life will be reflected at a time of death. No? So Krishna will say Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva. That is why if you remember we have been telling that Krishna is not just saying Antakale Chamam Smaran Muktva. He's not just saying that. He's saying Smaran. Smaran is not just about you know just a sporadic remembrance. He is very clearly talking about this Smaran is as a quality. What quality of Smaran you will have? You will have a Smaran out of my Bhakti. You will have a Smaran, and which kind of Bhakti? Right? So that's why Prabhupada is using that word that the Bhakti, the Mati, the consciousness that you have kept throughout the life will be reflected at a time of a death. Right now. So he is very clearly being saying like that. So over here now, in this he has asked the other two questions where about he is very clearly saying that please please tell me. So and in short, I'll show you what he has asked all these questions. What these questions mean. Over here it is said. So first question he asked, what is Brahma? That Krishna will answer now. No, that the indestructible Aksharam, the transcendental living unity, separate from the material body, is the Brahma, is the Jiva. What is Adhyatma? Krishna will say Swabhav, the eternal nature or the impressions that accompany the Jiva and governs the body. Right now, in every Jiva, the Jiva when he gets a body, because of the body that he gets, it is an impression that comes with him. And those impressions, which are kept in the subtle body, and that's how he moves in the next to the body. And the body is governed by that. What is Adhyatma? He said, what is karma? The fruitive activities for jiva that leads into transmigration from one material body to another. What is Adi Bhut? He says Prakriti, because which is constantly changing. What is Adi Daiv? Is Virata Purusha. So he says the gigantic universal form. Who is the Adi Yajna? Paramatma. Who is the Adi Yajna? How is the Adi Yajna known in the body? In the heart of the living being, because the Paramatma resides over there. How to know you at a time of death? So these over here, Gaurang Darshan 2 has made it 6 and 7, as a different question, but it is one question actually. Uh, and how to know how, and the last question it is asking, how to know you at a time at a point of death? Prayena kale. This is the main subject matter. So this is what is the questions being asked. Now we'll go dive into the answers which Krishna is giving, and from here. Yeah, please recite with me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhava Adhyatma Uchyate Bhuta Bhavo Bhuta Bhavo Bhuta Bhavodbhava Karo Visarga Karma Samakitaha. Yeah, please read through.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma or duty.
Robert's purport.
Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing, and its constitution is not changed at any time. The constitutional position of living entity is different from the position it takes in the material world. In material consciousness, his nature is to be the Lord of matter. But in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, his position is to serve the Supreme. When the living entity is in the material consciousness, he has to take on various material bodies in the material world. That is called karma, or varied creation by the force of material existence. The
Yeah,
living
read.
entity takes different positions. Sometimes he merges into the dark material nature and identifies himself with matter, and sometimes he identifies himself with the superior nature. Therefore, he is called Supreme Lord's Marshal and he receives a material or spiritual body. In material nature, he may take a body from any of the 8.4 million species of life. But in spiritual nature, he has only one body. In material nature, he
Hare Krishna.
and enjoy their facilities. He sometimes performs sacrifices, but when his merit is exhausted, he returns to the earth in form of man. This process is called karma. The Chandogya Upanishad describes his
Wait,
living
wait, wait.
cycle.
This will be this will go tough for you. So let me explain what Prabhupada has till now spoken. So here he is very clearly, he's saying that the Brahman is the indestructible soul. It is not talking about Pada Brahman. It's talking about Brahman, the Atma. And the karma is the what makes the living entity actually move from one body to another body. He acquires a certain impressions as he gets a body, and because of which actually he moves around. When the living entity in material body, he has taken on various bodies in material. That is called karma. Because of what he takes the various material bodies called a karma. Now, Prabhupada is explaining about, also we have the karma in a detail, about 8.4 million species, how a person goes. Because the jiva, actually, being a margin energy, he gets into it. Now, Prabhupada writes over here something about the process that the jiva and the living entity follows in general, and these are all called karma. So, Prabhupada talks about, in Chandogya Upanishad, the five kinds of fire and five kinds of offerings now has been mentioned. So proper type talks over here, if you're able to see that what is in the bracket. The five kind of fire are conceived of as the first, the heavenly planets, the clouds, the earth, the man, and the woman. Five. And the five kind of sacrificial offering are faith, the enjoyer on the moon, the rain, the grains, and the semen. So this is all a part of karma, and Prabhupada explains. Don't get confused about it. Prabhupada then explains about it, and that how below he's explaining that. Uh, I'll explain to you all what has been explained over there. So Prabhupada is actually explaining over there that how actually the living being who is doing these into who's in this karmic reactions, he is. So what he does is this, that he no, he, So the these jiva actually, who is actually right now is a Brahman, and he offers certain items, right now, like yogurt and also certain item like ghee and all with faith. So what he's offering, the elements that he offers, the five elements basically is offered with faith. And the prominent element is the water. And that is why the body, here Thoda, you have to tolerate the, tolerate in the sense, have a dhira, have your constant, have your intelligence fixed up in understanding what you will be saying. It will be very nice and interesting for you if you hear it properly. So he is saying that, he offers with faith certain material elements, the five material elements, uh, as a yajna, he gives it, with faith, he gives. So the five offerings that he says, the first offerings of faith. With faith, he gives the five elements, mainly the water, because the water represents all the elements. That's what's been said in the Upanishads. So water represents all elements. No, but the water no. So water represents all element, but is mentioned because no, but is mentioned because the water makes up the most of the human body. So water means the elements water, earth, and fire in subtle form. You know, so that is how actually, and because of this, so no, the in the in subtle form, they then make senses, and they accompany the jiva in all the bodies and acts as the base for the prana and the mind along with the jiva. So basically, he offers, because of offering of the water with faith, he is now यहाँ पे बोला गया the oblation is of actually is of faith. So he with faith he gives these elements called as water, representing the all the five elements, including water. So he gives it the faith. Then what happens? Those offering transforms into a heavenly body because he is giving the ahuti with faith. So he gets a heavenly body as something as a king of the moon. So the king of the moon, and then there he enjoys the results of his actions. And at the end of the enjoyment, the offerings, along with the jiva, you know, are the offerings which he has, along with the jivas, are offered to the fire of the rain, or the god of the rain. Who offers it? The devas. So the devas offer it like that. So the rain on and then in the rain it becomes rain. And the rain, along with the jiva, no, comes to the earth, right? No? Into the fire called as earth, right? No? These are the sacrifices, no? So the rain along with the jiva, is the ahuti into the fire called earth. And who is the person who's putting the deva? you know, so the rain, through the rain, it comes on the earth and becomes food such as rice or anything, rice or you say dal, whatever. And the rice offerings, and the rice acts now the rice along with the rice offering, the it gets enters into rice. Somebody now may eat the rice. So the somebody may eat the rice, and along with that eating of the rice, the jiva will also come. So the offering becomes the rice and the jiva, and is put into the fire called man, who is eating it, and then becomes the semen. And a semen, along with the jiva, which is offered into the fire called woman, in the woman's embryo, and then he transforms into man. This has been going on. That's what has been said over here. So Prabhupada that's what he's explaining it in the head purport, that now this is what the karma, the divinity is actually is engaged into it. So this is not spiritual karma. This specifically fruitive activity which he's doing it and going up and down. So I hope you understood. Uh, to simplify it, what it means, he puts offering with faith, goes and becomes the king of the moon, the enjoyer on the moon. He enjoys over there. When his enjoyment actually, his karma, his tenure of enjoyment ends, he falls down through the rain, and he falls down through the rain. I mean, the cloud is one, the rain, he falls down through the rain, and then it gets into the earth. Earth, and in the earth means he gets into the body, into the some plants, edible plants. Then through the edible plants, the jiva enters into the man, and from the man, in the man, then the semen is formed, and that semen gets into the woman, and then in the embryo, and then again the karma, including he gets another body. So that's what has been said. So this is all is about the karma, which has been said over here. So in the third Krishna spoke the answers. He spoke it very clearly. What is Brahman? The indestructible living entity. And his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self, and the karma, the fruitive activities. He explained it very clearly over here. In this particular shloka 8.3. So this is how the Jivan, the living entity are living in this world. They are just, they are just into the cycle. That is why, our, yeah, what is his name? Shankaracharya. No, he says very clearly these things. Uh, so he is actually saying about, no? पुनरपि जनमं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनप्यः संसारे कपि कृपया पाहे कृपया पारे पाहे मुरारे. So he's saying, अरे पुनरपि न जननम पुनरपि मरणम, यही चलते रहता है इधर. you know you know why? Because this is how actually the living being goes into it. So so that's what I'm saying. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Murhamate. No, Punarapi Rajani, Punarapi Dvishaha, Punarapi Punarapi Paksha, Punarapi Masaha, Punarapi Ayanam, Punarapi Varanam, Punar Tad Api Namunchati Asha, Asmarasam. So he says that, Punarapi Rajani, फिर से दिन होता है. Punarapi Dvishaha. Fortnight comes, days comes, night comes, leading into the month, Paksha, Masaha, Ayanam, years, Varsham, half yearly Ayanam, Varsham, Tadapina Munchati. In spite of such repeated influx, the passive and the conditioned soul do not give up the duality of desires and hate. So that's what is going on. That's what has been explained. And these all that he because of desire, iksha, dvesha, samattvena, dvanda, mohena, bharata, we read that. Now, till the point the divinity does not give such this, dvanda, desire and hate, hot and cold, whatsoever, based on his like and dislikes, he is in this cycle. And, so that's what is being spoken. This is called as karma. That's what Krishna is saying over here. So then actually he moves towards the now, and then he says something which is not much been elaborated by Srila Prabhupada, as Swabhav. What is that Swabhav? Which was the second question actually. So Swabhav actually is, the Swabhav is said to be, because of this karma, the body that a living being gets, he has certain kind of a Swabhav born of that. So Swabhava is nothing but, is nothing but over here is called as, that which causes one, to move into the cycle of, but because of his Swabhava, he has certain faith, right? And that's because of his Swabhava, he performs certain kind of karma. So that's what is being, being stated over here. That So Swabhav is his. No, that's why Krishna. No, that's why Krishna is saying his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self, or the Swabhav. The self is called as Swabhav, and their kind. Eternal nature means what? Eternal nature in the sense, actually, his eternal nature is to serve the Lord. So it's called Adhyatma. Adhyatam, Adhyatam, not Adhyatma, Adhyatam. So it's called Adhyatam, it's called a Swabhav. But the living being who is in this cycle, yeah, actually his eternal nature becomes like that, because of the body that he gets and all those things. But actually his eternal nature is supposed to serve the Lord, the transcendental eternal nature. So this is the third. So three questions are answered over here. What is Brahman? What is Adhyatam? What is Karma? So I don't know whether you are with me or not. Can you tell me what is Brahman? What has been said?
The indestructible self.
The indestructible self. Now, okay, I'll ask the question and I'll ask particular devotees and you have to answer. Especially those who are whose camera is off. Basically, to them, I'm going to ask. So, Prabhu, so tell me what is Swabhava? Who will tell? Abhinandan, Prabhu? Are you there, Prabhu? Oh. Okay, Rohan, Prabhu, you say, what is Swabhava?
What's the particular nature of person?
The particular nature of the person, or actually, the particular nature should be to serve in the eternal nature, but the jiva who gets the body gets into that kind of eternal nature also. Okay, and what is karma? Karthik, Prabhu? Okay, anybody else would like to say what is karma?
Which are the fruitive activities which are related to development of material body.
I explained you
Transmigration.
who will
Yeah,
transmigration. Yes.
transmigration
Five.
from one
Who,
body.
who remembers the five kinds of offerings and five kinds of fire? What are five kinds of fire offerings?
Which are the five kind of offerings are man, woman, faith, the enjoyer of the moon, and Prabhuji, I think rain. Rain. Yeah, these are the five kinds of
Cloud.
offerings. That is a fire. Cloud is fire, Prabhuji, I think.
Cloud is the fire. And what are the five kinds of fire too? Okay, anyhow. So anyhow, I'm not going to get into that. It's memory based.
Prabhuji,
So
I have one question. Can I ask?
yes.
Prabhuji, how can we understand the enjoyer of the heavenly planets? Sorry, the heavenly planets. How can we understand it as a sacrificial offering?
Oh नहीं sacrificial offering नहीं है ये मतलब क्या बोला जा रहा है? Lot of sound is there from your background. So
Sorry, Prabhuji, devotees are taking fresh up.
what has been stated over there that what is the sacrificial offering they are making it over here? That the somebody is putting ahuti with faith, the material element. So ahuti of the
Hmm.
material element is the no is no the material element is ahuti into the fire of the faith of the fire. you know so the faith is he's putting his ahuti into the faith of fire, and that's how he attains the heaven. He
Hmm.
goes to the heaven, and in heaven because of his because he becomes the enjoyer over there. He enjoys
Hmm.
over there, and his
Hmm.
enjoyment. So the offerings, whatever offerings he has put, whatever he has enjoyed and all. So that of the offering along with the jiva, because jiva is also gone. So the offerings along with the jiva, is put into the fire of, you know, a fire of pragya, the god of rain. So this is how it has been said. तो वो जीवात्मा फिर rain जब the fire of rain में जाता है, then he becomes a then Ahuti is the Jiva with his offerings of pleasure and pain and whatsoever. Then he gets into the fire of rain, and then he gets into the comes to the earth, right? Huh? So the earth, that's how he comes into or a cloud, you say. So a cloud, and then he becomes rain, and the rain along with the Jiva, is offered by the Devtas into the fire called earth. And then what is born? Food such as rice.
Grain, huh?
That's how it is. You understand? It is not like kind of it's a saying, it is not कि कोई आके जैसे हम आहुति स्वाहा ऐसा नहीं. But when you're
Huh.
giving a yajna, there's a fire, there's a person who's giving the ahuti, and there's ahuti. So that is what is being explained. क्या आहुति है, क्या फायर है, कौन कौन डाल रहा है, who is the person actually who's making the ahuti, is being explained.
Prabhuji, but here two questions come that we can understand that how semen is offering because the semen is getting entered into the womb of woman, which is a yagya kund. So in this way we can understand all. But regarding three, still I have a doubt that Prabhuji, we can understand that Jiva has came into rains from cloud. But how the Jiva has entered into heavenly kingdom or the clouds? That is first question. And second is how the enjoyer of the moon, it is a sacrificial offering. Because semen we can understand, rain we can understand, grain we can understand. How the Jiva is offered. But enjoy on the moon, how it is offering. And
Oh,
second question,
actually, no.
and
Let me
second is
answer this.
Prabhuji heaven.
Let me
Okay,
answer this. So no, so with the jiva, actually, okay. So when a person dies, so suppose he has been, through when he was living, he was actually, he was offering various elements with faith, right? No? So, he was doing that. So it becomes an oblation of faith that he was giving it, you know. So his faith is called as an oblation. And this envelops the jiva and goes with him. So when a person dies, what happens? No, the devas who are the presiding over the senses offers this oblation of faith which that jiva has into the fire called heaven, and that means they lead the jiva to heaven. Okay. You understood now, Prabhu?
yes,
So
Prabhuji.
when he goes to the heaven, those offerings which he has given transforms into a heavenly body, and he enjoys over there. Is it clear?
And Prabhuji, how he came from heaven to clouds then?
Okay, now okay. So now he is enjoying over there. So in that body, the jiva enjoys the results of his action while he is in the heaven. At the end of the enjoyment, because now he was enjoying the results of his action. Now his actions are over in one way. No, now at the end of the enjoyment, what happens? The offering what? The faith, right? No? Along with the jiva, the devas, they give into the fire of, fire of pragya, which is the god of rain, and it becomes the rain. उसको प्रज्ञा को दिया जाता है. प्रज्ञा है भगवान, जो देवता, जो रेन का डेमिगॉड है. So the fires are offered by the devas into the fire of pragya and becomes rain. And through the rain, and that rain, along with the jiva, is offered by the devas into the fire called as earth. अभी समझ में आया क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं?
Yes, Prabhuji, आ गया अभी.
हाँ. So and then and thus becomes food such as rice. No, rice is rice has been said many times क्योंकि that's a sacred है. आपने देखा होगा ना, आहुति डालते हैं धान का, तो कहीं भी यज्ञ होता है तो कच्चा धान होता है, उस पर अभी भी कवरिंग होता है. धान इज राइस, नो, दैट इज ऑफर्ड. So that's what. So is it clear now? What is the second
Yes, Prabhuji.
question?
Prabhuji, सेकंड क्वेश्चन वो हेवनली किंगडम वाला था कि वो उसको फायर क्यों बोला है, तो अभी आपने बता दिया, अभी समझ गया प्रज्वल.
Okay. So now,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
this is what is being now is going on, where Krishna has answered three questions. I'll cover 8.4 so that I know it's very important. नहीं तो so now here he says 8.4. You're able to see something translation purport right now?
Yes, purport is there.
No, 8.4. Adibhutam sharo bhavah purushascha adiदैवतम् आदियज्ञो aham evatra dehe deha vritam vara. Pari. Please read.
Green is instruction.
Who is going to read, bro? Please read.
Prabhuji, your screen is struck. Translation is not visible.
अभी नहीं आया? Wait. Why so? हाँ. Now one of you read.
O best of embodied beings, physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation, the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those, the sun and moon. It's called Abhidhayava. I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being. I am called Abhiyagya, the Lord of sacrifice.
Adiyagya. Yes, purple.
Purport: the physical nature is constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through six stages. They are born, they grow, they remain of some duration, they produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adibhuta. It is created at a certain point and will be annihilated at a certain point. The conception of the universal form of the Supreme Lord, which includes all the demigods and the different planets, is called Adidaiva, Adidaiva, and present in the body along with the individual soul is the super soul, a plenary representation of Lord Krishna. The super soul called the Paramatma or Adiyagya
Adiyagya.
and is situated Adiyagya and it's situated in the heart. The word Eva is particularly important in the context of the verse because by this word the Lord stresses that the Paramatma is not different from him.
So over here in this verse, we're saying Adi Bhutam. So is basically the material manifestation, the body also, and the material manifestation, Adi Bhutam. The Bhuta, no. So so that's what has been said over here, that the material manifestation is constantly changing. Shara. Akshara is Brahman, which doesn't change. Shara, which changes, is the Adi Bhutam. And so an Adi Daivatam, the Virat Rupa, because see, because we will say why call it, why not the demigods is called as Adi Daivatam? No, Adi word Adi ADHI, as I said to you, it's over. It said meaning is over and above. So actually, it's been said, what is Adi Bhutam? What is Adi Daivam? What is Adi Yagya? Yagyam. So is been, what does it mean? Sir, who is the actually, what is above the constant changing? Also this verse also means this, is been said. So the word, so now he's saying, what is above is, Charo Bhava, okay. So what is, so here Krishna is answering this, that, you know, the physical manifestation to constantly changing. Okay, is Adi Bhutam. So, but the word Adi Daivatam, he specifically says to Virat Rupa, the universal form, because the Virat Rupa is above all the demigods, or it includes all the demigods, right? No? And Adi Yagya, what is that? Who is the one who takes the Yagya above all? Is he says about Vishnu? That's what he says. So this is what Prabhupada is explaining over here, that the super soul is called Paramatma Adi Yagya, and Vishnu in the form of Paramatma he takes it, and a conceptual universal form is called Adi Devata, and the physical nature, which is considered is Adi Bhuta, or you can say the material manifestation, you know, the material manifestation, the in charge of the material energy, Adi Bhuta, and that's how it has been said over here. So now Prabhupada explains the last, read the gigantic.
The gigantic universal form of the Lord called Adidayavata is contemplated by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as Super Soul. The neophyte is advised to contemplate the universal form, or Virat Purush, whose legs are considered the lower planets, whose eyes are considered the sun and moon, and whose head is considered the upper planetary system.
Yeah, so this is not for us, this Virata Rupa worshipping and meditating on. We don't do it, but do we say that Krishna, the sun and the moon are the two eyes of the Lord? We see, whenever you see the sun, you can pay obeisances to considering that it's the eye of the Lord. The moon is the eye of the Lord. But we are not the worshippers of Virata Rupa and all those things. So that's what Krishna actually says over here, that you know these personalities. So this is what about Adi, uh, Adi Yagya, Adi Bhuta, he says. So so here now, so in this, I know he says Chara. Actually, talking about the first one, but I'm a bit explaining what Baldev Vidyabhushan says over here. The path he says whatever here. See, he says bhava. That's what has been said. No, the first word has been used over here is that in the shloka has been said is the adi bhutam, right? No? So adi bhutam, he very clearly says what Krishna is saying. You know, bhut, bhut is who? The living entity. Adi bhut, literally, I said to adi means over and above. Huh? So adi literally means, adi bhut literally means that which rules the living entity. Who rules the living entity? The material manifestation in general. Right? Huh? Adi, Adi Daiva refers to the bodily form of the aggregate matter, the universal form, because he rules over over all the demigods, aggregate form of the matter, Adi Daiva. That which rules, because these devatas rules the senses, the sense organ, the sense objects, and all the rest. So Adi Devata literally that which is rules over the existing devatas is called Virat Rupa. Adi Yagya means who rules over the sacrifices. Yeah. So who's that? Is the Lord, but in the Paramatma, because Krishna is saying that I inspire the people to do the yajna, sitting within as a Paramatma. So he's Adi Yajna. So this is what is called the word Adi. So uh, so now somebody may say, but how Adi Yajna exists in the body? He said, yeah, I exist in the body as a regulator within the body, so that I as a regulator and inspirer to perform the yajna. So I can. It is not that the Paramatma can reside in the Bhuta also. It's not a problem. So that's what is been said over here, that so now all these over here Krishna is explaining the you know you know yeah, Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, आदि यज्ञ, 3 यहाँ पे, 3 पिछले में, 6 हो गया। 6 का आंसर इन्होंने दे दिया। 7वें का आंसर पूरा चैप्टर है, जो कि will begin tomorrow, not today. Is a very no, but you should know this entire chapter, is about the last question only, about how a person actually passes away from your body, from his body, and what he attains, about depending on how does he remembers you, how he can attain you. So Krishna is very clearly saying. So Krishna will speak both kind of bhaktis in this shlokas, in this chapter now, Yoga Mishra Bhakti and the Shuddha Bhakti and Karma Mishra Bhakti. So he's going to speak about, because these people have a different destination. Because sometimes it's very important to understand also, because it gives an impetus to come to the level of actually doing Kevala Bhakti. So because the results are different. Uh, Results are different for the different worshippers of the Lord, different types of worshippers of the Lord. It's not the same. Okay. So when we understand that, we'll be inspired enough actually to perform Kevala Bhakti. Okay. So I end over here. You have 1 minute here still. You have any questions? Anybody has? Today was a bit tough, maybe for you all. But my simple understanding, if you have Gita Subodhani, please refer to it. It makes it at least in gist, you will know what we have been talking. Okay, no questions. So we end over here. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.